Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a never-ending loop, where each day blends into the next with little to show for it? Meet Emily, whose life was once dominated by a relentless pursuit of success and financial stability. But behind the polished facade of her corporate career, a deep-seated dissatisfaction brewed. She had lost touch with her passions and was grappling with a sense of unfulfillment that no amount of external success could alleviate. In this video we unravel Emily's compelling journey from the clutches of a soul-sapping job to the vibrant world of ballet and Kriya yoga. This story isn't just about overcoming the shadow of depression. It's about rediscovering yourself and transforming your life in ways you never imagined. As Emily ventures from the comfort of a secure yet stifling routine into the unknown, she discovers that true joy and purpose lie not in chasing fleeting achievements but in embracing the passions that ignite her soul. Get ready to be inspired by Emily's courageous leap into a new world where inner peace and personal fulfillment become the ultimate markers of success. Her story offers a powerful message. You have the power to change your life, to beat depression naturally, and to create a reality that reflects your deepest desires. This isn't just a tale of struggle and triumph. It's a call to action for anyone ready to break free from the ordinary and start living a truly extraordinary life. Emily was a woman of habits. Every morning she'd wake up at 6 a.m. sharp, slipping into her favorite pair of leggings before unrolling her yoga mat in the living room. The soft light of dawn would filter through the curtains as she moved through her poses, each breath bringing a sense of calm and focus to start her day. After yoga, she'd prepare a healthy breakfast, usually a smoothie bowl with fresh fruits and granola, before getting ready for work. Emily worked as a marketing coordinator at a mid-sized company that specialized in eco-friendly products. She was good at her job, known for her creativity and attention to detail. Her co-workers appreciated her reliability, often coming to her for advice on their projects. Despite her competence, Emily often felt like she was playing it safe, sticking to the tried and true rather than pushing the boundaries. But she was content, or so she told herself, with the steady rhythm of her days. Her social life was fulfilling if not a bit routine. Emily had a small but close group of friends whom she'd meet for brunch on Saturdays or for an occasional night out. They'd chat about work, relationships, and the latest TV shows they were binge-watching. Emily was the listener of the group, always there to offer support or a kind word, but rarely the one to open up about her own thoughts and feelings. Her friends loved her for her calm presence, though sometimes they wished she'd let loose a bit more. In her free time, Emily had a passion for cooking. She loved experimenting with new recipes, especially ones that incorporated fresh, organic ingredients. Her kitchen was her sanctuary, a place where she could unwind and express herself creatively. She'd often spend hours perfecting a dish, finding joy in the process of creating something from scratch. Her friends would rave about her culinary skills, often asking for her latest recipes, and she found satisfaction in seeing others enjoy her food. But despite these hobbies and a seemingly full life, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. She wasn't unhappy. Her life was good, stable, even enviable in some ways, but there was an undercurrent of restlessness. She often found herself wondering if this was all there was, if she was destined to live out her days in this comfortable but unremarkable routine. It was a thought she pushed away, focusing instead on the next task, the next project, the next recipe to try. And so, Emily continued on, maintaining the life she had carefully built, unaware that change was on the horizon, poised to disrupt the steady flow of her days. The shift in Emily's life was subtle at first, almost imperceptible. It started with a series of stressful events at work, deadlines that seemed impossible to meet, unexpected changes in project scopes, and an ever-increasing workload. Emily, always the dependable one, took it all in stride. She stayed late, skipped her lunch breaks, and poured herself into her work, determined to maintain her usual high standards. But the pressure was mounting, and no amount of yoga or cooking could alleviate the growing tension. Emily began to notice changes in herself. She was more tired than usual, finding it harder to get out of bed in the mornings. The things that once brought her joy, like trying new recipes or spending time with friends, started to feel like chores. She began withdrawing, turning down invitations, and avoiding social gatherings. The vibrant, creative woman who once relished life's small pleasures was slowly fading, replaced by someone who was merely going through the motions. It wasn't just the stress at work that was weighing her down. Emily had always been a bit of a perfectionist, but lately her self-criticism had taken on a harsher tone. She found herself fixating on mistakes, replaying them in her mind over and over again. She felt inadequate, as if no matter how hard she tried, she was never good enough. These thoughts followed her home, invading her quiet moments and disrupting her once peaceful routines. At first, Emily chalked it up to a rough patch, something that would pass with time. But the feelings of hopelessness and despair only deepened. It was as if a dark cloud had settled over her, obscuring the light that once guided her. She struggled to concentrate, her mind constantly wandering back to her perceived failures. Sleep became elusive, with thoughts racing through her mind late into the night. The more she tried to push these feelings away, the stronger they became. Unbeknownst to Emily, these were the early signs of depression. What had started as a response to the stress and pressure in her life was evolving into something much more serious. The vibrant woman who once embraced life with open arms was now grappling with an invisible enemy, one that threatened to consume her completely. Emily had always turned to yoga and positive thinking practices as a way to manage stress, finding comfort in the familiar routines. However, in recent months, even these practices, which once brought her peace, seemed to lose their effectiveness. She felt as though she was merely going through the motions, unable to quiet the storm of thoughts and emotions that had taken over her mind. One afternoon, as Emily sat in a cafe, sipping a cup of herbal tea, she ran into Clara, an old friend from college. Clara was someone Emily had always admired for her deep sense of spirituality and wisdom. They hadn't seen each other in years, but as they caught up, Clara noticed the weariness in Emily's eyes. Sensing that something was wrong, Clara gently probed, and before she knew it, Emily was pouring out her heart, sharing how even her beloved yoga practice was no longer bringing her the relief she desperately sought. Clara listened carefully, her face full of empathy. After a moment of reflection, she asked, "Emily, have you ever heard of Paramahansa Yogananda?" Emily shook her head, intrigued but unfamiliar with the name. Clara went on to explain that Yogananda was a spiritual teacher who brought the ancient science of Kriya Yoga to the West. "It's more than just physical postures," Clara explained. "It's a path that connects you to your inner self, combining meditation, breathing techniques, and spiritual wisdom to bring about profound inner peace." Clara shared how she had started practicing this form of yoga during a particularly challenging time in her life. The teachings of Yogananda had transformed her approach to mindfulness, helping her connect with a deeper sense of purpose and calm. She recommended that Emily read Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, a book that had been a turning point for her. Clara also suggested that Emily try the specific Kriya Yoga practices taught by Yogananda's Self-Realization Fellowship, offering to introduce her to a local group where she could learn and practice these techniques. Emily felt a spark of curiosity. She had always believed in the power of yoga, but this approach sounded like something deeper, something that could help her reconnect with the peace she had lost. With Clara's encouragement, Emily decided to explore this new path, feeling a renewed sense of hope. It was as if the universe had placed Clara in her life at just the right moment, guiding her towards a form of healing she had never considered before. Emily's journey into the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda began with cautious steps. Initially, she was hesitant, unsure if this new path could truly make a difference. The routines she had known for so long were comfortable, even if they weren't bringing her the peace she desired. But something about Clara's enthusiasm and the depth of Yogananda's teachings resonated with her. Slowly, she began incorporating the practices into her life, starting with daily meditations and breathing exercises recommended by the Self-Realization Fellowship. At first, the practices were challenging. Sitting in stillness and quieting her mind was harder than she had expected, especially with the storm of thoughts constantly brewing in her head. Her mind often tried to convince her that these practices were a waste of time, whispering that she should focus instead on regaining the perfection she once had in her work. The idea of sitting still when there were so many things she could be improving or fixing at her job felt almost unbearable. There were moments when she wanted to give up, to retreat back into her familiar yoga routines, where she could lose herself in the physicality of the practice. But something inside her urged her to keep going. She knew that this was more than just another exercise, it was a journey into herself, one that required patience and persistence. Then came the invitation. Clara, who had been a constant source of support and encouragement, invited Emily to attend a retreat focused on Kriya Yoga. The retreat was to be held at a serene location in the mountains, far from the hustle and bustle of city life. It was an opportunity to immerse herself fully in the teachings of Yogananda, surrounded by others who were also on a journey of self-discovery. The idea excited Emily, but it also scared her. The thought of leaving her routine behind, even temporarily, was daunting. What if she couldn't keep up? What if this wasn't the answer after all? For days, Emily wrestled with her decision. She found herself making excuses. Work was too busy, she couldn't afford the time away, or maybe she just wasn't ready. But deep down, she knew these were just fears talking, fears of stepping into the unknown. One evening, as she sat in meditation, she felt a deep sense of clarity wash over her. This was her opportunity to break free from the cycle she was trapped in, to discover a new way of being that could bring her the peace she longed for. With a mixture of excitement and apprehension, Emily accepted Clara's invitation, deciding to embrace the journey ahead. Leaving behind her everyday life was not easy. She had to make arrangements at work, explain her absence to friends, and prepare herself mentally for the challenges ahead. But as the day of the retreat approached, Emily felt a growing sense of resolve. This was her chance to explore something extraordinary, to step out of her comfort zone and into a world that promised transformation. She wasn't just seeking relief from her struggles, she was seeking a new way of living, one that could lead her to lasting peace and fulfillment. As Emily arrived at the retreat, she was immediately struck by the tranquility of the surroundings. The mountains stood tall and silent, a perfect backdrop for the introspective journey she was about to undertake. The retreat center itself was modest but welcoming, with a simple elegance that mirrored the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. Despite the peaceful atmosphere, Emily felt a twinge of anxiety. She was stepping into the unknown, leaving behind the safety of her familiar routines. The days at the retreat were structured yet demanding. Each morning began with meditation sessions that pushed Emily beyond her usual practice. Unlike the yoga she was accustomed to, Kriya Yoga required a deeper level of concentration and a commitment to inner stillness. Emily found it challenging to quiet her mind, which often drifted back to thoughts of work, deadlines, and the never-ending pursuit of perfection that had dominated her life. The struggle to stay present was real, and there were moments when she doubted whether she could continue. But Emily wasn't alone in her journey. She formed connections with others at the retreat, people from different walks of life who, like her, were seeking something more profound. These new allies became her support system, sharing their own struggles and offering words of encouragement when Emily felt like giving up. Together, they participated in group meditations, discussions, and spiritual exercises, each experience helping Emily to open up a little more, to let go of the rigid control she had clung to for so long. As the days passed, Emily began to notice subtle changes within herself. The challenges she faced at the retreat, both internal and external, were slowly transforming her. The persistent thoughts of work began to lose their grip on her mind. Instead of obsessing over her next achievement, she found herself more focused on the present moment, on the peace that was beginning to bloom inside her. It wasn't easy and the road ahead still seemed long, but Emily knew she was on the right path. Then, on the final day of the retreat, tragedy struck. Emily received the devastating news that her mother had passed away. The shock was overwhelming, a sudden jolt that threatened to undo all the progress she had made. Grief washed over her, filling the silence that had once brought her peace with a heavy sorrow. It felt as though the ground had been ripped out from beneath her, leaving her adrift in a sea of emotions. In that moment, all the teachings, the meditations, and the newfound strength seemed to vanish, replaced by an unbearable sense of loss. With the pain of her mother's loss still fresh, Emily found herself in a state of despair and confusion. The retreat, which was supposed to be a time of clarity and peace, had turned into a test of emotional endurance. She felt lost, and her progress seemed null in the face of her deep sorrow. However, even amidst her grief, a part of her still believed in the transformation that Kriya Yoga could bring. Determined to face the challenge, she knew she needed to focus more than ever on the techniques she had learned. Kriya Yoga was not just a meditation practice but a way to connect with a deeper inner strength. From meditation to breathing exercises, began to weave themselves into the fabric of her daily life. She created a tranquil space in her home dedicated to her new practices, making sure to integrate moments of introspection and meditation into her routine. Gradually, Emily noticed significant changes within herself. The silence that once felt unsettling began to feel comforting. She was developing a new level of concentration and inner peace that she hadn't experienced before. The meditation sessions, which had once seemed so challenging, were now becoming moments of profound connection and clarity. She found that her mind was calmer, more focused, and better equipped to handle the turbulence of her emotions. In addition to the personal growth she was experiencing, Emily began to feel a deeper sense of connection to a divine presence. What had previously felt like an abstract and distant concept now seemed to be with her all the time. During her meditation, she felt as though she was in constant communion with a higher power. This sense of closeness brought her comfort and reassurance, making her feel less alone in her struggles. Her newfound sense of spirituality became a source of strength. Emily found solace in the belief that she was guided and supported by a force greater than herself. This connection helped her navigate the challenges she faced, giving her the courage to continue her journey despite the difficulties. The divine presence she now felt was a constant reminder that she was never truly alone, and this realization brought a sense of peace that had eluded her before. As Emily delved deeper into her practice, she found that her approach to life was changing. Her focus shifted from external achievements and perfection to a more internal sense of fulfillment and growth. The skills she was developing through Kriya Yoga were not just helping her cope with her grief but also transforming her entire perspective on life. She was evolving, and with each passing day she felt herself growing closer to the divine presence that now seemed to walk with her. The divine presence she had felt during her time away was the only thing that seemed to offer her any relief from the constant ache of her loss. Her yoga sessions, once a routine part of her day, now became a sanctuary where she could momentarily escape her pain. The focused breathing and deep meditation provided a rare sense of peace amidst the chaos of her emotions. Emily would retreat to her quiet space, where the practice of Kriya Yoga offered her a brief respite from the storm of her grief. Each session was a small beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest times, there was a way to connect with something greater than herself. As she continued to immerse herself in her spiritual practices, Emily found that the sense of divine presence she had cultivated at the retreat began to re-emerge. It was as if the yoga allowed her to reconnect with the comforting presence she had felt before, even though her grief was still very much present. The moments of meditation became a way for her to feel held and supported, providing a semblance of solace that she could carry with her through her daily struggles. The practice of Kriya Yoga, despite the pain, was more than just a method of coping. It became a vital part of her healing process. It was through these moments of spiritual connection that Emily found the strength to face each day and to slowly begin processing her grief. The divine presence she sought was no longer a distant hope but an ever-present companion, guiding her through her sorrow and offering her a path to peace amidst the turmoil. As Emily deepened her practice of Kriya Yoga, something remarkable began to unfold. The grief that had once dominated her life started to give way to an indescribable joy, a joy that seemed to erase her fears and anxieties. This profound sense of happiness came from her growing ability to connect with the divine presence she had felt during her retreat. The more Emily practiced, the more she experienced moments of blissful serenity. The divine presence she once sought in fleeting glimpses now felt like a constant companion. During her meditation sessions, she would often be enveloped by a sense of profound peace and joy. It was a feeling so deep and pure that it seemed to dissolve all her worries and fears. Emily felt as though everything was not just okay but wonderfully perfect. This joy was unlike anything she had ever experienced. It wasn't just a fleeting feeling, it was a deep, abiding sense that everything was aligned and in its right place. The divine presence she connected with brought a comforting assurance that she was exactly where she needed to be. This newfound sense of peace allowed Emily to approach life with a renewed perspective, one that was free from the burdens of anxiety and self-doubt. Her daily life began to reflect this inner transformation. She carried a calm assurance that permeated her interactions and decisions. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable now appeared manageable, framed by the reassuring belief that there was a greater plan at work. This joy didn't just lighten her own burdens, it also inspired her to share this newfound sense of peace with others. The reward Emily experienced was not only in the serenity of her practice but in the profound, unshakable joy that it brought into her life. It was a joy that illuminated her path, transforming her perception of reality and offering her a profound sense of well-being. She had discovered a source of happiness that was both deeply fulfilling and perpetually reassuring, a true testament to the power of her spiritual journey. With the newfound clarity and peace Emily gained from her spiritual journey, she began to reassess her life choices. The corporate job she had once valued for its financial rewards now seemed hollow and unsatisfying. She realized that she had chosen this path not out of passion, but for material gain. The realization prompted her to reflect on her true aspirations, which had long been set aside. Emily's long-abandoned dream of becoming a ballerina resurfaced. Although she felt that her age might be a barrier to returning to the stage, she saw an opportunity to bring her dream to life in a new way. Drawing on her savings, she decided to open a ballet school, a place where she could share her love for dance with others and foster a new generation of dancers. The process of starting the school was both challenging and exhilarating. Emily meticulously planned every detail, from designing the curriculum to selecting the perfect location. Her background in business helped her navigate the logistics, but it was her passion for ballet that truly drove her. She found joy in every step of the process, from setting up the studio to welcoming her first students. The opening of the ballet school marked a significant turning point in Emily's life. She was able to infuse her personal experiences and insights into her teaching, creating a nurturing environment for her students. The joy and fulfillment she found in pursuing her passion were unmatched by anything she had experienced before. Seeing her students grow and develop their own love for ballet brought a sense of purpose and accomplishment. As Emily settled into her new role, she felt a profound sense of satisfaction. The ballet school was not just a fulfillment of a personal dream but a testament to her journey of transformation. It symbolized her commitment to living a life aligned with her true passions and values, and it provided her with a renewed sense of direction and joy. As Emily's ballet school continued to thrive, she began to integrate more of her spiritual journey into her daily life. Recognizing the profound impact that Kriya Yoga had on her well-being, she decided to incorporate these practices into her school's curriculum. This decision transformed her ballet school into a unique sanctuary where both dance and spiritual growth were embraced. Emily introduced Kriya Yoga classes alongside the ballet lessons, creating a holistic environment for her students. She believed that the physical discipline of ballet could be enhanced by the mental clarity and inner peace that Kriya Yoga offered. Each day, students began their sessions with meditation and breathing exercises, followed by ballet training. This blend of physical and spiritual practice provided a balanced approach to well-being. The addition of Kriya Yoga was met with enthusiasm by her students and their families. Many reported feeling more centered and focused, not just in their dance practice but in their daily lives. The combination of dance and yoga fostered a supportive community where individuals could explore both their artistic and spiritual sides. Emily's approach to teaching became a model for holistic education, emphasizing the connection between body, mind, and spirit. As Emily shared her journey and practices with her students, she found immense satisfaction in watching them grow both as dancers and as individuals. The school became a place where students learned to appreciate the beauty of balance and harmony, not just through their movements but also through their inner experiences. The integration of Kriya Yoga provided a deeper level of fulfillment and self-awareness. The success of this unique approach reaffirmed Emily's belief in the importance of pursuing one's passions and sharing them with others. Her school was not just a venue for dance but a testament to the transformative power of integrating spiritual practices into everyday life. Through her combined teachings, Emily continued to inspire and uplift her community, embodying the principles she had embraced on her own journey. Emily's ballet school, now a thriving haven for both dance and spiritual practice, became a reflection of her own journey. As she continued to teach and guide her students, she found that her life had been transformed in ways she had never anticipated. The integration of Kriya Yoga with ballet was not just a professional achievement but a deeply personal one. The fulfillment she felt from pursuing her dream and creating a space for others to grow was unparalleled. Emily's new life was characterized by a sense of purpose and joy that radiated through her interactions and endeavors. She had not only revived a passion from her past but had also crafted a meaningful and impactful way to live out her values. Her days were now filled with the vibrant energy of her students, the peaceful routines of her Kriya Yoga practice, and the creative expressions of ballet. The balance she had achieved between her professional aspirations and spiritual well-being was evident in every aspect of her life. Emily had become a living testament to the power of following one's heart and nurturing the mind and body. The community she had built around her school was a source of ongoing inspiration. She regularly hosted events and workshops that combined dance, yoga, and personal development, fostering a culture of growth and support. Her commitment to her students and her craft had created a ripple effect of positivity that extended beyond the walls of her school. Emily's new life was a vibrant mosaic of her passions and values. She had managed to weave together her love for dance and her spiritual practices into a harmonious existence. Her journey from corporate life to ballet and yoga had not only fulfilled her dreams but had also enriched the lives of many others. Her story was a powerful reminder that embracing one's true passions can lead to a life of profound satisfaction and impact. Emily's journey is a profound reminder that the path to a fulfilling life often requires stepping off the beaten track and embracing what truly resonates with our hearts. Her transition from a high-pressure job to running a ballet school and teaching Kriya Yoga wasn't just a career change, it was a complete life transformation. If you're feeling unfulfilled or lost, remember that change starts with a single step towards your true passions. By embracing what you love and seeking balance, you too can overcome the shadows of depression and create a life that reflects your innermost desires. Take a page from Emily's story. Listen to your inner voice, follow your dreams, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Are you ready to take that first step towards your own journey of transformation? Subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and join us as we continue to explore inspiring stories and practical tips that can help you create a life of joy and fulfillment. Your journey to a better, more meaningful life starts now. Let's embark on this adventure together.